have spent the last 13 years climbing up the career ladder in the tech industry, starting completely from scratch when I was 21 as a business development rep, doing cold calls and all the hard work, and then climbing up the career ladder, working with the biggest banks and insurance companies out there. And that against the odds, really, because if you think about it, 70% of all roles in finance are held by men, 75% of all roles in tech are held by men. It should have been super hard to go through the ranks, or almost impossible as a woman in your 20s. And something I started to realize is that even though when I started as a business development rep, we were pretty much 50-50 in the team, 50% women and 50% men. I soon found myself all by myself as a woman in these meeting room scenarios or in client situations. It's always me with a bunch of guys. And stats actually show that 3 out of 4 women on entry level are looking to be promoted into an exec role. And that's how the idea for Phase 20 was born. I'm Nicole, the person behind Phase 20, a platform that I created to help as many young female professionals as possible in their 20s to succeed in their career. And the platform pretty much exists to share all the little hacks and tricks and shortcuts that women in their 20s should know as an early career professional. So everything that can help you to climb up the career ladder with a little bit more ease, because in many ways the corporate world is still created around rules and structures that are or that have been created by men for men. Now I say that again, if you are in one of these industries, tech, finance, insurance, manufacturing, the structures that have been created to do business in those industries are still created around and to favor men. You need to be aware of that as a woman in those industries, because your way of thinking, your logic, the way you would deliver tasks, they might not apply here. It's common sense that men do things slightly differently than women do. They go different about problem solving. Their brains are just wired differently. Let's put it that way. We only see 10% of female CEOs in Fortune 500 companies. So again, it just shows that there's still a lack of female representation on exec level. So in other words, your interests, your way of thinking is not really shown and represented. And once you understand that, you know why John just got the promotion over you, or why Alex actually earns 20% more than you do for the same job. So there's certain things that you can do that your male colleagues already all know about. So it's about time that you apply the same logic, that you do play the same game. That's where Phase 20 comes in. I share all these little hacks and shortcuts that I learned over the years that really helped me to progress in my career. Because once you know how to play the game, it actually gives you a major advantage as a woman. Because remember, you are the only woman at the event. You are the only woman in the meeting room, right? You are the only woman at the client event. So you are automatically, you're standing out. This gives you a great power. And this is particularly useful when you think about the current job market. There's still a lot of tech redundancies and layoffs happening. 2024 was supposed to be the year of recovery, where we see, the industry just being a bit more stable. Statistics show that tech layoffs and redundancies hit women the hardest. So you want to be prepared. And I actually wanted to share some really useful tips with you of all the things that you can do to be prepared and to actually put yourself in a strong position. We already explored that the corporate world has its own structures and ways of working. And something you should know early on in your career is that it's not always about how qualified you are for a job or how many skills you master to a perfection. Something that you learn in school or university, where the best grades automatically give you the best recognition for your work, that doesn't always happen in the workplace. Remember, oftentimes men sit in those management roles, and statistics show that they make decisions not based on the level of qualifications that you bring, but on the potential that they see in the candidate. So they think about what value do you bring that is useful to the business. In other words, things like how well connected are you? What connections do you bring to the business, right? So are you well connected to some really, really major personalities in the industry that could be useful for the business, for example? Or how senior do you already come across, right? What type of intelligent questions do you ask that signal that you very much know what you are talking about? Remember, fake it until you make it. That's really a common theme theme here. In other words, they're looking for candidates that come across super confident and just like they know exactly what they are talking about, if it's true or not. So my advice to you in times like these is to focus on the things that really matter to raise your profile. Learn how to be your biggest self-advocate, right? So to promote your work, your accomplishments, and don't just tell your direct line about all your work. Try and think bigger here, right? You need to make sure that, you know, the senior level, all the people that might be, you know, in charge of you actually getting a job in the future, they all need to know about you. So don't just think about your current situation. Think about where you see yourself in the future. And that also includes, you know, people outside of your company. Start posting interesting articles. Start post interesting stories that happen to you in your job. Start posting about amazing client success stories on LinkedIn. Make sure that the world is aware of all the great stuff that you are already doing. And by the way, LinkedIn, I can't highlight and stress it enough, is your tool number one. It will really help you. You can use it for various reasons, right? But one is to raise your profile. Two is to also be in contact with other companies. So yes, that's right, you heard me. So even though you might not be looking for a job right now, that's absolutely fine, but it's always good to have a plan B. So it's always good to check out what other companies are offering. Understand your market value, be in contact with hiring managers. Even though you are not interested right now, you then have the contact and you can always reach out in the future. And third of all, you also want to reach out to really important personalities in your industry, right? You want to be seen as a thought leader, somebody that's well connected in your industry. You can do that by connecting with people on LinkedIn to then have these connections. Remember, hiring managers like to see who you're connected with. They're going to do cross-check. They're going to check who you're connected with on LinkedIn. And if they see that you are connected with a senior exec that they actually trying to speak to, that makes you a really valuable asset to this company, right? So make sure that you use LinkedIn, raise your profile, be connected, maintain your network, grow your network. It's all, you know, all possible just by using LinkedIn. And I'm telling you, your male colleagues, they're already doing all of this. They're already in contact with all the hiring managers. They're already in contact with those senior execs. They're building their profile. They're out there. And if you are not taking action, you're just sleeping on it. You're basically risking that guy is going to get the future job that you could get by you just being active and being out there and just being on LinkedIn, just going to networking events, just making sure that people are aware that you exist in the market and that you're a great, valuable asset to every company out there. Let me know in the comments, what are your secret hacks and little shortcuts that you use on a daily basis to help you stand out? I hope the video was helpful. Let me know down in the comments what you would like me to cover next. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. I will be posting useful tips for female professionals in their 20s every Thursday. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.